welcome to my spring equinox reading for March 21. And we have beautiful energies on that equinox. We have some challenging energies, but most of all we have also very beautiful energies. And I want to begin with Venus and talk a little bit about the superior conjunction of Venus in Pisces. So Venus does have two conjunction with the Sun on her journey. It is the interior conjunction and it is the superior conjunction. And on the interior conjunction with the Sun, Venus is retrograde and she is going into the underworld, like the old myth of Inanna that steps down into the underworld of her sister Ereshkigal. In the inferior conjunction, Venus is closest to the earth. So to me it is about earthly matters, reflecting on what is my value, Venus, what do I want to attract into my life, who I want to attract into my life, and what are my relationships. So it is a very direct earthly reflection. And the superior conjunction with the Sun is that Venus is the furthest away from the earth. So to me Venus is purified by the universe and what is coming in on universal or higher knowledge about love, about values. So I feel like the superior conjunction from Venus is connected to the higher realms, and when it is in Pisces, what it is right now, then it is a boost of higher energy for those who are on a twin flame journey. And there will be a new beginning for twin flames. There will be a new nourishment around that area and a new developments, a new level. There will be a new level on the twin flame journey, and I feel that all love relationships will get a boost. So I would say that this time now will bring changes, most of all in close relationships, but also on how the whole humanity is supposed to connect. So I feel like there is a new development coming in, and it is coming in every time Venus is in a superior conjunction with the Sun. Venus is in the shadow, so Venus is not so strong, but because Venus is exalted in Pisces, she is like, in traditional astrology they would say she is in her chariot, so she is very strong still. And Venus in Pisces is about the higher aspect of love. Higher aspect of love to me means that your focus is more on giving. How can I give to this world? How can I give to the other person? How can I exhale my soul into the world? That to me is Venus in Pisces. And to me it is also interesting that after all this darkness that we went through last year with all those horrible aspects that were all about really a huge closure that was quite dramatic. Isn't it fascinating that now Venus is in the superior conjunction in Pisces? The field of relationships gets a new boost from the universe that says this is the purification process now. This is where the higher dimensions of our reality, the higher dimensions of us wants us to be. So it will be interesting how this period will work out, but I feel it will definitely bring a new development in very close, intimate relationships, especially in those relationships that are for highly developed, like for example twin flames or very close soul tribe relationships. During that time now, in this transformation from Venus, Venus is coming from the morning star. She's transforming into the evening star, so into the more mature aspect. So like in the new moon that was on March 13th, the Sun and Venus are conjunct. But this conjunction is also conjunct Chiron and Ceres, and this is what I talked about in the beginning, the more challenging aspect of this spring equinox. Winter solstice, summer solstice, spring equinox, autumn equinox. When you make a chart around those times, these charts last for 3 months, or the energies last for 3 months at least. So I would say that the next month there will be this process of what I said about around love, that there will be a new purification and a new development in love relationships, a new development how we should relate as humans. So there is an upgrade from the universe, so to speak. And this upgrade with this conjunction of Ceres and Chiron include also a deep reflection on where we are wounded, where our will, it is in Aries, our will, our what we think is this I am, and this is what I want, and where this is what I want is deeply wounded, and where we had deep losses around that theme, and that this reflection obviously is part of the process. So we have to reflect on past wounds, on wounds that with Chiron or aspects of these wounds are beyond our control. It is the wounds of life. It is like losses, or with Ceres, losses of people that we love, losses of beings that we loved, things that we really held close to our heart that we had to let go. In this case, the wounding is a lot around our relationship to what we think that we are, or what we think is this is how I define myself with my personality, and with this is what I am and this is what I want. And to say, okay, in this process of a new form of relating, we have to include ourselves. So we also have to relate in a new way to us, and maybe in a more humble way, to know that we are vulnerable, and that this whole societal lie, especially in our capitalistic countries, where it is all about if I only have enough, I'm safe, or I deserve this or that, and this is what belongs to me, what I own, and what is my right to have, and that there is nothing, that maybe the only birthright that we have is that we are a spiritual being that has an earthly experience, and that our birthright is to be connected, but that a birthright is not to have or to own anything or to get anything. In the spring equinox, Mercury and Pallas Athena are squaring Mars and the North Node in Gemini, and Mercury and Pallas Athena in Pisces is already, well, I would say that our mind is not so much on the logical side of thinking, and is not so detail oriented, but is very creative, very inspired. And we might sometimes be a little bit confused in our heads, but what I said before, how do we relate now? What does that mean, that purification? And what does that mean that we have to integrate these wounding, or this humble approach towards who am I, and that actually this humble approach could be more rewarding than our false pride that we sometimes hold. But it is not a logical process, it is more an intuitive process. Also with Mercury, our plans and our communication sometimes might be a little bit vague. So as I said, it is not a time where we really can fixate, oh, this is what I want to do, or how I'm going to do it, but more it is more allowing the vision to come through, this kind of energy. Or the poems that want to come through, the new music that wants to come through. And with Venus, it can also be a very creative process. And when it is related to relationships, it is a process of allowing things to come in or surrendering into the process. It is a very Piscean thing, really surrendering into what wants to be the new you, or what wants to be the new love that you exhaling, and the things that come into your life, or the people that come into your life. A part of that, I would say, with the sextile from Pluto to the Sun and Venus, we have a real push from our soul, that our soul and our collective development is really calling us to relate in a new way, especially around the theme of relationships, around the themes of our wounds. It is a surrendering process, it is a healing process, it is a purification process, it is an intuitive process. But it is not a time just to sit still, what was around the new moon, where it was more a time of meditation, a time of really stepping into your sacredness. But now it is a time to act, but it is not so much a time with what I said, with Mercury in Pisces squaring the nodes and Mercury also squaring the moon. So we don't really understand what is going on, but to act, we don't always have to really understand. It is more an action out of your gut, that you somehow know this is the way I have to go. So this is more, the next 3 months will be more about trust your gut feelings and act on your gut feelings, not so much on your head. It is intuitive, and with the Sun now in Aries, it is a very impulsive action, and you can trust your impulses. I would say that this time, just go for it, just do it, and just hold the equilibrium between I allow myself to surrender to this new process in relationships, but I also allow myself to just step into action and go and just do it, and just be the change. And even if you don't understand it with Mercury in Pisces squaring the nodes, just go for it. And now I will pull some cards. So what I see in the cards, and what is interesting, is that the main theme is around Chiron, is around support, and is around Ostara. Ostara, the beginning of spring. I really like that there is support in it, because what I was talking earlier about with Chiron, we are wounded, really wounded from the past and exhausted from the past. But we are supported, we will get help, we will get support. There will be positive developments, there will be positive support and help from others, and positive developments with Ostara. There will be positive new things that come into our lives. There will be positive new things that we have ideas to do, and new developments in relationships. But we have to honor that we are wounded, because in our past we have stuck, we have Sorwin, and we have guardian spirits. So in the last month we somehow were protected, or we had a form of protection, but something definitely ended, and we couldn't do anything to avoid that. And it was a very stuck time. It was a time where we couldn't move, and it was a time of lockdown in most countries. So it was really a time where no one could move. And at the end of the winter we are usually already exhausted, but with all these energies we are really, really exhausted, and we will be supported, but we have to take our time. And with greed and with health and with walking the talk and challenge our inner child, the Sun in Aries, this impulse for new adventures, for I want to get what I want, and I want it now. Because we are so exhausted, we want it yesterday. But these cards say, yeah, it is not realistic. We are too exhausted and everyone else around us is too exhausted. We cannot expect others to be what we want them to be, because also they are exhausted. So the field, the field of our human experience at the moment, our social field is very, very exhausted, and we have to accept that and challenge that is connected to the astro cherry claw. Cherry claw always goes with honoring life at its highest, and honoring your perspective and the perspective of the other, and accepting boundaries, accepting your own boundaries and accepting the boundaries of others. So I feel like it would be wise if we move forward with the spring energies. This call to action is there, but it says, yeah, move with respect where you really are and not where you want to be, and with respect towards the others where they are and not where you want them to be. Underneath the deck is the card Patience. So we are wise if we are patient during that time, and trust that we are supported, and trust that there is a new beginning, and that this spring equinox really will bring a change, and it will bring a change in our relationships, and it will bring a change in our surroundings, in our personal life, in our professional life. We will be supported and we will give support to others, because with this Venus superior conjunction, the best thing I would say is to focus on how can I exhale my love into this world, rather than saying, what can I get from this world? And I know we all are exhausted. We all are like it's exhausted children who want to be cuddled and be held. But I feel it would be wiser to say, or more appropriate and more in alignment with all these energies, to say, how can I bring my highest soul energy into this world and serve this world, and trust that while I'm serving, I will be served and will be blessed in my serving of love. So I hope this was helpful. I wish you a wonderful spring equinox. Namaste.